Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Shackle 5858. I am Amish Shackle. Foreign news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please, let's go to the headlines.
David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, breaking news: an ICE agent shoots and kills a woman. The chilling images coming in now. Video on social media showing a woman partially blocking a street in her SUV being shot and killed during an immigration-related operation. An ICE agent firing multiple times as she tries to drive away. The alarming video right here tonight, the chaos that unfolded, and what Homeland Security is now claiming tonight. We're live on the scene. Also tonight, the U.S. seizing 2 oil tankers just hours apart. A Russian flag tanker among them, and tonight the new demand from the Kremlin now. And tonight what the Trump administration is now saying about the Venezuelan oil now in its possession. Martha Raddatz standing by with new reporting. The firestorm over Greenland growing tonight. The White House declaring Greenland should be part of the U.S. Tonight, even Republicans on the Hill now pushing back. One calling this amateur hour, saying this is absurd. Rachel Scott live at the White House. Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, in court, and the major shakeup in court just moments before his arraignment on murder charges in the deaths of his parents. The scare on the runway, the passenger jet landing, several tires blowing out. The terrifying landing what passengers were forced to do. 1 year ago tonight, Los Angeles was burning. Tonight, our promise to go back and what we discovered on the very street where we reported from 1 year ago. It is extraordinary, and you'll see it right here. Tonight, the former college football star and NFL player in critical condition at this hour, badly burned in a fire, and what we've learned. The food pyramid in this country has now changed tonight. What Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now telling Americans when it comes to what they eat. At the Great Escape, the images tonight, what this dog is able to pull off, it has a lot of people talking.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the chaos unfolding after
a deadly confrontation caught on camera. A U.S. immigration officer shoots and kills a woman. No! The outrage?
To ICE, get the f*** out of Minneapolis.
And how the White House is justifying the killing. Also on this Wednesday night, widespread damage on a First Nation. The people left displaced after a destructive power outage in freezing weather. Venezuela's deepening humanitarian crisis spilling over into Colombia as the U.S. seizes 2 Russian-flagged oil tankers. Plus, smart bricks.
This one is part in there, laughing.
The new innovation from Lego and why it's worrying critics. Good evening and thanks for joining us. The tensions around the immigration crackdown underway across the United States. 30 Syrian knowing how the shooting unfolded in vehicle. Security claim driver had attempted to run over and kill federal officers. She calls it domestic terrorism. Local and state officials, including the governor of Minnesota, are refuting that, calling propaganda Americans to believe it.
We've been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt, and today that recklessness cost someone their life.
The governor held for thousands of India begun to gather in a vigil for the dead woman. Taria Isri has our top story tonight.
Social media video shows ICE agents pulling up to an SUV on a suburban street. No! Shit! An officer then opens fire, killing the 37-year-old woman behind the wheel. This witness says he saw it all unfold.
The agent who was on the driver's side originally, who was not pulling on the handle but had been there prior to that, shot two.
This is Asia Now.
It's 11 a.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 8:30 in New Delhi, and 10 o'clock in Jakarta. Good morning. I'm Ronnie Samtani. At this hour, the U.S. seizes 2 oil tankers tied to Venezuela, one sailing under a Russian flag, as President Donald Trump widens action on Venezuelan oil, drawing rebukes from China and Russia. Oil markets on shaky ground after Washington moved to exert greater control over Venezuela's oil industry. Brent and U.S. crude futures rebounding in Asian trade after losing ground overnight amid concerns over potential oversupply. The U.S. is pulling out of dozens of international bodies, including key climate and health agencies, saying they no longer serve its interests. And millions of Australians warned to prepare for a stifling heat wave, stoking the risk of catastrophic bushfires across the country.
Africa News. The news.
Authorities in Burkina Faso say they foiled a new coup attempt. The alleged plot was uncovered late Saturday night before it could be carried out. Officials say the situation is now under control as the country remains on high alert. On January 3rd at 11 p.m., a plan was in place to destabilize the country. This was to be carried out through a series of targeted assassinations of civilian and military authorities, beginning with the neutralization of Comrade Captain Ibrahim Traoré, head of state, president of Faso, either at point-blank range or by an operation to bomb his residence. The minister says investigations are ongoing, with arrests already underway. Authorities say they are closing in on everyone involved in the alleged plot and that they will face the full force of the law. I want to take this opportunity to commend and acknowledge the highly commendable work of the intelligence services. Thanks to their professionalism, Burkina Faso has, for the upteenth time, foiled attempts at destabilization. It's the latest in a series of alleged plots targeting the junta leader, who himself seized power in 2022, overthrowing Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Dambier.
The first China-led BRICS joint naval exercise is due to start on Friday in South African waters. The theme of the drill is joint actions to ensure safety of shipping and maritime economic activities. BRICS originally consisted of Brazil, India, China and South Africa, but has expanded to include Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia and the UAE. South Africa has not specified which countries will attend, but media reports say Russia and Iran will take part. The exercise has been held before, but never under the name of BRICS. The change will likely concern Western nations as BRICS launches its first defense cooperation.
Several dozen snow-covered tents line this street in the historic heart of Paris, sheltering young homeless migrants.
morning to you. This is Sky News at 2 a.m. These are your latest headlines. Leave our city. The anger of the mayor of Minneapolis after a 37-year-old woman is shot dead in her car by a U.S. immigration officer.
I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get out of Minneapolis.
And messages of support for the former England and Newcastle United manager Kevin Keegan, who's been diagnosed with cancer. Hello and a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on Sky News. We begin in Minneapolis, where a federal agent has shot and killed a motorist during an immigration crackdown in the city. The victim has been named as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. That's according to the Minnesota Star Tribune. Authorities claim it was an act of self-defense and that the woman was targeted when she tried to run over officers. Well, these pictures purporting to show the incident were posted online by President Donald Trump. The woman in a car at a traffic stop was shot by the immigration officer, whose agency is commonly referred to as ICE.
Doing is they trust in this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull, and I have a message for ICE. ICE, get out of Minneapolis.
Well, huge crowds gathered at the scene of the shooting earlier, and a vigil has been held with many leaving flowers.
The adverse weather had in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law vehicle and operations. Question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues.
Christy Noam speaking a little earlier. Well, here in the UK, the Ministry of Defence has confirmed the British Armed Forces were involved in the US operation to seize an oil tanker sailing under a Russian flag in the Atlantic. The Marinera, a Venezuelan-linked vessel previously known as
Emergency level bushfires in Victoria, with heatwave conditions intensifying in multiple states. Anger in the US after a woman is shot dead by immigration agents in Minneapolis. 2 oil tankers with links to Venezuela seized by the US military, one of them flying a Russian flag.
And Australia chasing down 160 runs to win the 5th and final Ashes Test in Sydney. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Joe O'Brien. There have been reports of property losses from the bushfire in central Victoria amid an extreme heat wave that's getting worse across the southeast. The Longwood fire near Seymour increased in size overnight to more than 100 hectares. A wind change saw the fire front move towards the Hume Freeway, with firefighters working to try to contain the blaze. So there are now, it's kind of hard to keep track of the number of emergency warnings because they're fluctuating, but there's actually 4 now. 3 are in place for that out-of-control fire at Longwood. That blackened area there is where the fire has been active, and that has grown significantly overnight. It's burning between Euroa and Seymour. So residents in Longwood, Longwood East, Loxley, Ruffy, Tarkham and Upton Hill are being told to leave immediately. The fire's moving now in a westerly direction towards Loxley. Residents in Avenel, Caviar, Dropmore, Highlands and Terrap are also being told to leave immediately. Meanwhile, emergency warnings being issued for this out-of-control bushfire in Mount Lawson State Park. That's locals will be aware of that because that's been in and out of emergency for 48 hours now. It's in the state's northeast near Walwa. That includes Bungle, Burraway, Guy's Forest, Mount Alfred Gap, Thullagalong. People there are being told to leave immediately. Fire conditions are set to deteriorate further tomorrow with those really high temperatures and hot winds forecast. The heatwave conditions will persist throughout Australia's southeast over the next few days. Temperatures up to 47 are forecast in northern parts of South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales. Those states
see what's north of
This is Asia Now.
It's 11 in Singapore and Hong Kong, 8:30 in New Delhi, and 10 o'clock in Jakarta. Good morning. I'm Hani. At the as President Donald Trump, Venezuela.
Thank you for watching Ahmed Shakil 5858. I am Ahmed Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.